Stern manages to cause a commotion wherever he goes, but the king of all media won't be stirring things up in Hollywood because Howard's been banned from his bookstore appearance there. Unless, of course, Howard is willing to put his money where his mouth is. Howard had lots to say when he sat down exclusively with Mary Garafello. Mary?
Maureen, Howard Stern is not the kind of guy you would want to make angry. He's 6'5", almost 200 pounds, and he's got a motor mouth that could run you into the ground. Just ask members of the West Hollywood City Council. They're on the latest collision course with the titan of talk.
When it comes to Howard Stern, they selectively go after me. I don't mind if they go after everyone, but when you selectively go after Howard Stern, well, what's going on there? Okay.
What's Howard Stern talking about now? Well, this time, the flap centers around his book signing excursion to California today, and city officials who have rolled up the welcome mat and locked their doors. A very angry Howard Stern sat down with a current affair exclusively to vent.
You take a town like Hollywood, and this is a town where Demi Moore lives, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis. I get on a plane, a disc jockey, go to California to sign some books for fans, and suddenly the whole town breaks down. There's a sweat now in this whole town. Everyone is flipping out.
This was the wild scene on Fifth Avenue in New York City this past October when a gazillion fans turned up at Barnes & Noble to have their private part signed. That's the name of Stern's best-selling autobiography. And it's precisely this chaos that West Hollywood politicians don't want to deal with in their own backyards, unless, that is, the self-proclaimed king of all media foots the bill. Stern calls it extortion.
And what this is an amateur attempt at best at a shakedown. They've come out and said, we want $25,000 bond posted if Howard is to sign books, and we want $18,000 an hour for the police department for overtime expenses. If Jesse Jackson goes to Los Angeles, there are police escorts and things like that. It's okay, nobody says anything.
We think the person that's making the profit should pick up the cost. And in this case, it's Howard Stern who is making millions off of this very successful book, and there's no reason why we should have to eat the $20,000 or $25,000 in costs to pay for his security.
An estimated 15,000 fans were expected at Book Soup on Sunset Strip for the book signing, but West Hollywood City Council wanted to make sure any and all damages were covered by the shock jock.
The City Council, who are probably a bunch of people who sit around all day and really don't do much of anything. And if you've ever been to West Hollywood, you see teenage prostitution, you see hookers, you see drug addicts, you see crime. These are the issues that they should be tackling, not worrying about when I come to town what's going to happen.
I think he sees it as a good opportunity to generate publicity. The $25,000 is a drop in the bucket for him.
So what happens from here? What do you do?
It means a lawsuit. I'm looking into whether or not my civil rights have been violated. I can't sit still for this kind of garbage.
The bookstore has canceled Stern's personal appearance, and its owner, Glenn Goldman, says neither Howard Stern or his publishing company, Simon & Schuster, offered to put up the $25,000 bond, and adds attempts to create a more controlled environment were turned down by Stern's agents.
There would have been ways of making it happen that would have been less confrontational, but I don't think that's the style of the people involved here.
As for the fans, love him or hate him, they're on Howard Stern's side.
And that's what people pay taxes for, is police protection, so you ought to get it.
Even some of New York's finest who participated in Stern's last book signing extravaganza can't understand what their Los Angeles counterparts are so worried about.
I can't see a riot happening. I mean, he did it here in New York, and we didn't have any problems.
But the shock jock says he won't be stopped. He still plans his attack on West Hollywood, whether it means jail or not. As for his newest political foes, well, the war of words has just begun.
This pathetic attempt to shake me down for money is childish and makes them look foolish.
Don't mess with Howard, because he says he's going to have a book signing party anyway tomorrow. It's not going to be in Hollywood. He'll be in Pasadena at Vroman's Bookstore. We'll be back in a moment with the results of our Michael Jackson phone poll.
I'd love some.